guys, it's Steph here. Of course it's windy. That's how our spring has been, non-stop blowing, and it's been so much cooler. Next week it's actually gonna get up to the 90s. So we've officially had a spring this year. We always joke that there's never a spring, it just goes straight from cold to summer. And so it's been awesome. So today I just wanted to plant a few more flowers in my flower bed, definitely before it gets hot. When it starts getting 90 degrees, it's a little bit harder to keep plants alive. So I'm gonna be planting some wet tolerant ones. They like the moisture, so I'm putting them in shadier spots so they like a lot of shade. I am so excited to highlight these plants. I've been wanting this one for a while now. They kind of look similar, but one gets a lot bigger than the other. I'm gonna be planting two of them today. So this is the Dark Side of the Moon Astilbe. I've heard it's a little bit more drought tolerant, but if it does dry out, it's gonna burn a little bit quicker on the edges of the leaves and the flowers aren't gonna last as long. So the color on this Astilbe is one of a kind. There are no other Astilbe that have this dark black foliage quite like this Dark Side of the Moon. And it gets about 22 inches tall and space them about 24 inches wide. But what's awesome with this Astilbe is once you plant one of them, you can just continue to get them throughout the years. So if you've been watching a lot of my videos this year, I'm gonna repeat myself. I've been dividing like crazy, dividing. So I'm just trying to save as much money as I can. And I was so excited because I got this one on sale. It's about 25% off. $14.99 wasn't too bad for this size of a plant. So I got 3 of them. And look at how tall that spike is. It goes up here and it's a beautiful dark purple before it comes out, and then it kind of turns to a softer purple, which is gonna be a really beautiful color. So I'm gonna do a big drift of these, and I'm gonna divide this one into 3 plants. Let's see how many I can get out of here. So I can get 3 of them right here. So far I've gotten 6 plants. So 1 right there, 1 right there, 1 right there. I'll show you how I do that in case you wanna know real quick. And then I can get 3 plants out of that. So look at my Japanese maple. I divided these earlier. They're doing so good. They've put on more growth than I thought they would have. And so look at this contrast. Isn't that gonna be so nice? I would highly recommend putting Astilbe in big groups just for the beautiful show that they're gonna put on. So I've got a tricolor beech right there. I'll show you a little close up. So it wasn't doing so good, you guys. I planted it too deep and it's a fairly young tree and the ball was just way too deep. So you see where that is? I had it all the way under the ground, and that is a no-no for trees. So I had to lift it up, bring it up out of the soil. We really don't want that to get soggy and rot. So it's doing a lot better. It was really droopy and unhappy, but look at how beautiful it is. This isn't a really deep shade area. So when that comes out in spring, it just is absolutely gorgeous, and it keeps this beautiful color all the way until fall. I have so many different colors and textures going on. This is gonna provide that privacy that I need so desperately right here, but it's gonna take a while because it's so slow growing. And then I have some beautiful hydrangeas over there, the limetta. And all of this area is part shade, kind of right here, part shade. And then right here, it's more just shade. It only gets about 3 to 4 hours of sunlight total in the whole entire day. And then what I'm gonna be planting in front of this Astilbe is this beautiful lamium that I transplanted right here. And then I've got some silver foliage. I like to use this knife. I feel kind of bad using it because it's a really nice kitchen knife, but it works so beautifully for this. It's a Cutco. Do any of you guys have Cutcos? Remember when those were really popular? Oh, gotta be careful. Oh, that one's a little bit tender. We gotta be really careful with that one. Okay. And I'll cut through this one. This one's gonna be a lot stronger. Should have watered them a little bit. Gently pull those out. Sweet. I got 9 successful transplants. That one on the end was a little bit risky, but it's doing okay. And got the holes dug. We're just gonna come around here. It's gonna be a really nice show here in a couple of years. And then that lamium, it does spread, so it's gonna make its way throughout this area wherever it can on this front edge of this border. Here is the second one. You don't hear about this plant very often. Maybe some of you guys have, but it's so similar to that Astilbe, but it's very different because it gets way bigger. So this is the Hillside Black Beauty. It's also known as Snakeroot. And look at that. It will get about, the blooms will get 70 inches tall. and it gets about 36 inches wide, but the foliage itself only gets about 2 to 3 feet tall. Look at how cool the leaves are. So this would also pair well with those Japanese grasses. So that's what I originally had in here, but then I realized these are way too big for these spots because I have 2 big trees right here. So I didn't want them to compete too much with these anchor plants. So these also divide like your Astilbe. Okay, I'm over at my river. This is where I'm going to be planting that Snakeroot. So I don't think I mentioned, but the Astilbe is cold hardy down to zone 4 along with this Snakeroot. So let's take a look at this area real quick. I've been cleaning it for the last 2 hours. A lot of weeding. There's still quite a bit to do in this area. I have a beautiful river along my yard. We haven't even begun to tackle it yet. There's so many fun ideas and plans that we have, but it's just a year at a time. We hope to do 1 project a year, 1 bigger project that includes hardscape, fencing, lots of different things. Okay, so right here I've got hostas. This is the Paul's Glory. So a little story about this area. This area is very challenging. We've got willows and they soak up a lot of the water and the nutrients in this area. So I needed something right here that is dry shade. So I've got some goat's beard. This is the Chantilly lace. It's a smaller variety. And this one gets about 2.5 feet tall and can get up to 4 feet wide. So I have 3 of those, 1 right there, 1 over there. And then I also divided these hostas that I got from Walmart. They're gonna fill in nicely. And I've got some hostas back there. So I've tried other stuff. I think that so far these plants are doing just fine. Then over here I have those Japanese grasses that are gonna fill in. So with these snake roots, this area right here isn't as challenging. Those roots kind of let up a little bit. It seems like it's far enough away from the willow. And so that's why I'm planting these ones right here. I am gonna have to supplement water them if it gets a little bit more on the dry side because they do like to stay moist. But I do like this spot because it gets sunlight till about 12:31. And so that's really gonna help them get that darker foliage. They can handle deep shade, but I really wanted a nice dark contrast. And then right here is some of that golden heuchera. I can't remember the variety. I'm gonna add a few more to let them wrap around this Snakeroot. So I've got 5 of them in here right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no, 6. So I'm gonna divide 3 more out of this one, and then I'll have a huge mass right here. They kind of look like fireworks, so it's gonna be really cool. And this one is gonna have a white flower. There are some out there that have the pink flower. I know it looks like I'm gonna cut my hands more in the video, but I'm being very careful. It's not as close as it appears on the camera. Between the Astilbe and this one, these are definitely easier to divide. They're a little bit tougher and sturdier. And I moistened them a little bit more. Okay, this is gonna be so gorgeous when they mature. So with these snake roots, they are a little bit leggy on the bottom. So I like to underplant them with something like these grasses or hostas. Really good companion plants. Everything is tiny. I am actually gonna go ahead and plant these begonias and impatiens right now, just to finish this flower bed off. It's gonna make it look that much prettier. So I think I got 16 plants for about 10 bucks. Not bad. And they're gonna be happy here too because of this part shade area. They would burn in the full sun in my climate. This area is done. I just want to walk over by my greenhouse real quick and show you a few more wet tolerant plants. So right here is where I have some anemone, some lobelia. I divided probably like 12 of these lobelia plants, so I have a lot of them. And so they are both shade loving in my climate. The lobelia can handle part shade. The anemone can also handle part shade. So this area gets sun throughout the day, mostly shaded in the afternoon, but they will get about 2.5 to 3 feet tall. So those dainty anemone flowers and the spikes of the lobelia, the blue Starship, it's gonna be really pretty. So I have them running up and down this entire area. And then I've got a clematis right there that I'm gonna go ahead and let climb. I'm not sure how it's gonna do because it doesn't get a ton of sunlight, so we'll see what happens. The chickens had nibbled it down to nothing in spring, but it's bouncing back and recovering. So this is gonna be pretty once all of this fills in. Anyways, I would not recommend getting meat chickens. They are just destroyers of plants. Their feet are huge. We call them Bigfoot. I wanted to show you. Oh, let's go take a look at one real quick. All those plants along my greenhouse are having to recover from these. Look at those feet. And they run so funny. I have to show you. Watch them run. Isn't that hilarious? I guess we'll end that video on those chickens running. They bring me so much entertainment. So it's kind of a love-hate. I love them, but at the same time, I am not kidding. I've planted coleus in my flower beds and they've just trampled them to death. Thankfully, I haven't spent very much money on those. Anyways, I hope you guys liked this video. Make sure you hit the like button and the subscribe button and the notification bell for my future videos. I have so many projects going on. I'm just enjoying gardening so much. I never get sick of it. I hope you are enjoying your gardens as well. Thanks so much for supporting my channel, and I will see you in the next one. We'll talk to you later. Bye.